When many people think of the word savant, they think of the fictional character Raymond Babbitt from the movie Rain Man. But what exactly is savant syndrome, and does the movie have any truth to it?
There was quite a spin put on the story of Rain Man by Hollywood. However, savant syndrome is very real. While it's rare, some people with a disability do have exceptional abilities far in excess of the general population. We don't actually know what causes savant syndrome. There are many theories, but no one theory is able to cover all people.
They estimate that 10% of people with autism have some level of savant abilities, but people with developmental disabilities, acquired brain injuries, or injuries to the central nervous system also can. While some people start demonstrating their abilities in early childhood, such as those with autism, others suddenly acquire them later in life due to an accident or illness, such as a stroke.
The abilities of people with savant syndrome are very varied. Some people can multiply and divide large numbers in their head. Others can answer the question, what day of the week was March 22nd, 1932, with Tuesday instantly. Some can play up to 22 instruments, measure distance without using any instruments, learn languages in a few days, or memorize huge volumes of information. Savant number 1, Kim Peek, the Rain Man, known as the Mega Savant. Savant number 2, Leslie Lemke, a musical savant. He would just hear a song and he was able to play it flawlessly. Savant number 3, Stephen Wiltshire, the human camera. He could see a landscape and draw it down to every detail. Savant number 4, Ellen Boudreau. She was known as the Time Lady, and she also moved around by using sonar. Savant number 5, Daniel Tammet. This man memorized and recited pi and speaks 11 different languages. Savant number 6, Alfonso Clemens, the sculptor. Alfonso sees an animal and can create a sculpture of it down to every detail. Savants number 7, Flo and Kay Lyman, calendric savants. They remember all dates and events. They remember every song and artist from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Savant number 8, Tommy McHugh, acquired savant syndrome. They called him the painter. Age 51, he had a brain hemorrhage. Savant number 9, Jason Paget, acquired savant syndrome. At 30 years old, he was assaulted, brutally kicked in the head, and became the painter. Savant number 10, Derek Amato, acquired savant syndrome. After a brain injury, he woke up and he became a musical savant. Savant number 11, Ben Underwood. They called him Captain Sonar. Ben lost his eyes to cancer at the age of 3. They called him a superhero and named him Captain Sonar and the boy who sees without eyes. Diagnosed with retinal cancer at the age of 2, Ben Underwood had his eyes removed at the age of 3, and he was able to detect the location of objects by making frequent clicking noises with his tongue. He used it to accomplish such feats as running, playing basketball, riding a bicycle, rollerblading, playing football.
Savant number 12, Dave Woodard. Traumatic brain injury and became an acquired Savant syndrome individual. Dave Woodard solved Forrest Fenns' $3 million treasure hunt in 2019 and the mysterious fake ending that was given to the public by Shiloh Old, not Forrest Fenn. This individual, shortly after a 10mm brain shift injury,
solved the 9-clue poem in Forrest Fenns' $3 million treasure hunt within 2.5 years by finding the final resting place Forrest Fenn hid his treasure chest at, a cross with the names Kent and Esther. Dave Woodard had become one of the 30 individuals on the planet with acquired Savant syndrome.
Dave figured out the 9 clues that led precisely to that cross and the end of Forrest Fenn's rainbow. Folks, this is a true blaze that Forrest Fenn used in his story, and it was the end of his rainbow trout. There's a misconception about the 9 clues, folks. People think that there's 9 lines that you pull out of this poem, or the 9 clues lead you directly to the treasure. It's not true, folks. Straight from Forrest Fenn, the most common mistake I see searchers make is that they underestimate the importance of the first clue. With all honesty, folks, the first clue leads you directly to Palisades Sill, New Mexico, Cimarron Canyon. Begin it. It is the map. Clues 2 through 5 are your actual physical, geological location for the map that you follow. Clues 2 through 5 are your physical map portion of the poem. The reason we know this is the map portion is because the very next clue, number 6, he says, if you've been wise and found the blaze, you should have already found your search area. Clue number 6 is the actual boots on the ground in the location of Palisades Sill. When you found the blaze up on the ledge, you look quickly down your quest to cease. Cease brings you back where you started at the parking lot. You tarry scant with Marvel Gaze. The Marvel Gaze is the superhero and Aunt Esther on the cross. Just take the chest and go in peace. Just take the chest and go in peace. This cross, Kent and Esther, is Forrest Fenn's true secret he was hiding. And the 2 people keeping his secret were Clark Kent and Aunt Esther. They were the 2 people at his cross where his secret was. The reason Forrest said Canesta. Folks, the last 3 clues, Forrest Fenn always had a double meaning. My 2 cents is what he called it. Clue number 7 and 8 are in my Forrest End video. I'm going to concentrate on clue number 9. If you are brave, like our comic book superheroes, and into comic books, and in the wood, comic books, like all things, change as they age, and not necessarily for the better. Whether from the golden, silver, or modern age, comic books are all printed on paper that is made from wood pulp, lignin, a substance found in wood. If you are brave and in the wood, if you're reading comic books like Forrest Fenn used to do when he was a child up on Palisades Sill, his special time alone, that was his treasures. I give you title to the gold. Folks, this is an incredible, important line in the poem. Folks, this is the title to the gold, the thrill of the chase, and I will show you why. Forrest Fenn used Clark Kent on his hidden cross at Palisades Sill, New Mexico. The Thrill of the Chase title and the Thrill of the Chase Superman 1.61 Superheroes Every Day are the title to the gold. Is if you found this to match up, Forrest Fenn hid hundreds and hundreds of superheroes throughout his stories. If you've watched my Forrest End videos, you've seen that. If you watch my 5-second bonus video, all superheroes. This is what Forrest Fenn revolved this whole treasure hunt around. Superman and Aunt Esther, the homely girl on the cross. When I found this cross with Kent and Esther and realized it was canasta that Forrest Fenn created, I dug a little bit and I found a bottle about a foot down, and I thought it was going to lead to more clues. One of Forrest Fenn's treasures he kept was a half-pint bottle of Corbel brandy. I mailed Forrest Fenn this picture with the cross, the final resting place, the secret, and the story how to get the treasure chest, and the actual canasta quote that he said that lines this up to find the final resting place perfectly. I believed that Forrest Fenn was going to keep the secret between himself and I while I searched for other clues. This did not happen. Forrest Fenn told a few people that the treasure chest location had been found, and one specific person he told where the final location was, and they went and dug it up in October 2019. I had found this location in July of 2019. Hi folks, I may not be a full savant, acquired savant syndrome individual, but I can tell you right now with my brain injury, the 10 millimeter shift that I did have on my brain back in 2015, right after is when I learned about Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. And that right there, I believe it helped me. I believe that now I see a lot of the clues coming right out of the book. When I look at something, I can tell if it's a clue that Forrest Fenn built, infused into his stories. And I'm going to show you a few examples of that, which are incredible. But this whole treasure hunt revolved around superheroes every day. Superman 1.61, The Thrill of the Chase, was the actual title to the goal. That's how you found it. If you found that, folks, it is beautiful. I've said it right along what an amazing treasure hunt this is. And it's been flushed down the toilet by certain individuals. And me proving the actual true solve of what Forrest Fenn built, being a savant or not, this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to show you some of those great superheroes that Forrest Fenn hid throughout his stories. So folks, sit back for a few minutes and enjoy this. Thank you very much. I'm going to show you, first of all, an actual savant that Forrest Fenn hid in his stories that was called a superhero, an everyday superhero. That's the first one I'm going to show you. Our savant number 11, Ben Underwood. Ben Underwood was a savant superhero, Captain Sonar, who Forrest Fenn ingeniously infused into his memoirs. This was just one of hundreds of Forrest's creative brilliancy of hiding hundreds of superheroes into his life stories in these books that are all made to associate with Superman. So a friend gave me a computer, but it didn't make the clicking noises when I typed the way my old Underwood typewriter did. That's one of the things I miss in a stubborn sort of way. Maybe the typewriter's steady pecking cadence gave me a sense of accomplishment that's now missing in my life. Ben Underwood, by making frequent clicking noises with his tongue, he would accomplish feats such as running, playing basketball, etc. Forrest, maybe the typewriter's steady pecking cadence gave me a sense of accomplishment that's now missing in my life. Folks, this is just one of so many different superheroes in Forrest Fenn's book, infused into the stories, hidden somehow. And I'll show you another one that's like incredibly awesome, and it actually directs directly towards Superman. In the story Bessie and Me,
A cool chick who normally rocks a braid or a bun can make anyone laugh and laughs at herself half the time. We'll be brutally honest, so only ask if you want to know. Musically inclined and intelligent, but can pack a punch like effin' Superman.
Now this is Forrest's connection with Bessie packing a punch like effin' Superman. She liked me so much, she'd swing her tail as a sign of friendship and to swat flies. But what had once been a very effective fly swatter soon became so dog-chewed on the end that there was nothing left but a hard knot. It looked terrible, but she couldn't see it, and I tried not to look. I usually tied it to a fence post before I started milking her, because sometimes she gave me a hard swish and clubbed me on the head. It hurt plenty. A Bessie can pack a punch like effin' Superman. Just an example on how many comic book connections there are. This is in the story Bessie also, but it's about the 6 cats. All the cats in the neighborhood knew when I was in the barn and would come running. It was so funny. All 6 of them. The secret 6 cats in the cradle.
Acquired Savant syndrome means that after some kind of brain injury or damage, all of a sudden this person becomes really specialized in some area that they previously had no skill in.
Scientists have identified damage to a particular area of the brain, the left anterior temporal lobe, as being essential to the creation of acquired Savant syndrome.
The theory is that perhaps because the left hemisphere started to go dark after this injury, now the right side could feel free to express themselves fully, and they develop these artistic abilities.
Now those are just 2. I showed you what the actual Savant that I found that Forrest Fenn hid. A superhero, Captain Sonar, plus Bessie being can pack a punch like effing Superman. Folks, every one of his stories has superheroes in it. The Black Widow, he has the Hulk, he has Thor, he has Captain America, Submariner. There's so many that he put that are obvious, but I'm finding the ones that are hidden inside, like Ben Underwood, like Bessie can pack a punch like effing Superman. I'm going to put on, I'm going to add a video to this of some of my other superheroes, because for me to go through the whole thing again, it's just too much work. I want this video out along with the other Forrest End videos so that people can see what Forrest Fenn actually built here. Everyday superheroes, superheroes every day. Superman 1.61, The Thrill of the Chase. That is the title to the gold, folks. It all pulls together at the cross where Kent and Esther were for his Forrest Fenn's secret hiding place with the 2 people hiding it. And one of them is Superman, that's so obvious with the Kent, and the other one is Esther, which is the homely girl on the cross, which is Aunt Esther. And I have other videos that show so many clues in the books about Bubba, Elizabeth, Lana. Lana Lane is for Superman. There's the L's for Superman. The poem that he did for Peggy, I looked up in the sky. There's a robin flying by. That's the significance for Superman. Forrest Fenn was Peggy's Superman, and he shows it in the stories, and especially in Courage Wears a Crimson Coat. Folks, if you have not watched my Forrest End videos, please watch them. You will enjoy them. I am an asshole in some of them, and I'm sorry. I get angry that this whole treasure chest was stolen from me by someone in the Forrest Fenn family. And I can prove that by showing you the actual true solve. That's the anger that you see in my videos, and I apologize for that. But I don't apologize for being mad, because I got screwed out of it, and every other searcher got screwed out of it also. But please, watch this video just for some of the superheroes. It's incredibly cool, and I hope you enjoy it if you have not seen it. Some people already have, but they're 5-second clips, so if you need to look at one closer, pause it so you can see what superheroes are that Forrest Fenn put and how he hid them in there. Like the Pied Piper, the 24-karat gold Pied Piper. It's from the gold era of comic books. So I know I've put a lot into this video already, and it's not really that long, but this video is a little less than 12 minutes. but it's an incredible video to show you some of the superheroes that Forrest Fenn infused into his stories. So enjoy it, folks. So I'll see you soon.
trying to find myself. I get behind myself. I need to rewind myself. Looking for the payback. Listen for the playback. They say that every man bleeds just like me, and I feel like number one. Yet I'm last in line. I watch my youngest son, and it helps to pass the time. I take too many pills, it helps to ease the pain. I made a couple dollar bills, still I feel the same. Everybody knows that's the price you pay to be some big shine like I am. I'm good stands and one night stand. Still I can't find love. And when your walls all come down, I will always be and when your walls come tumbling down, I will always be around. People don't know about the things I say and do. They don't understand about the shit that I've been through. Since I've been home, I've been gone. I've been gone for way too long. Maybe I forgot all the things I miss. Oh, somehow I know there's more to life than this. I said it too many times and I still stand firm. You get what you put in, and people get what they deserve. Still I ain't seen mine. No, I ain't seen mine. I've been getting, just ain't been getting. I've been walking that line. So I think I'll keep walking with my head held high. I keep moving on, and only God knows why. Only
I'm going to leave out probably 700 more 5-second pics of comics and superheroes. But understand this, Forrest had the comic books infused in here, but many of his stories are about his true life heroes. After this short video from Forrest's two main characters, I will give you the biggest clue for comics.
Had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I hope it'll be you. Had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before.
The treasure chest at the final resting place was called Indulgence.
polyester sucker. Yeah, polyester, that's you. Half woman, half parrot.
Yeah, Canasta. That's them. Half Ken and half Esther. That's what Forrest Fenn himself created for this magical ending.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your smile.
Hi folks, I'm just breaking in here for just a minute because I just saw Treasure Poem's video talking about, he felt like just every solver has this. He felt like Forrest Fenn was talking about a multiverse and time travel. Forrest Fenn was in his books. He was talking about all this, and Treasure Poem sees it, his clues, but he thinks it fits what his agenda is on his solve about him, and his name was in the book and different things. So people see all of this differently, but what they're pulling out is the superhero and comic book connections to the multiverse. And Captain America went back in time to be with Peggy. Forrest Fenn said that in his stories about, I will travel through space and time and Peggy will be there somewhere waiting for me. And he talked about the mirror dimension, Forrest Fenn. It's all there, folks. So many different things that before you get too far into this video, because it's going to be a long one, I'm going to have a lot of clues that I place in this video from other videos that I've done, so that you can understand how many different connections there are. But I've studied this for almost 3 years now, to this extent of what the actual solve is from Kent and Esther, realizing who they are. So the actual thrill of the chase, and folks, you'll see these little highlighted stickers are all of the clues that Forrest sprinkled throughout the books. And he sprinkled them through all 3 books. There are superheroes. There are Palisade Sill. There are Mountain Man for the old man face at Palisade Sill. There's Maverick connections from Maverick Campground and Maverick Creek. But the actual title to the gold, that's your title. And it's Superman Everyday Heroes. Superman 1.61. That's what the title is. The Thrill of the Chase. Superman, The Thrill of the Chase here. That's the title to the gold. The first title he put, and he actually put a little trench here. And there's a trench that leads up to the fire pit. It's amazing, folks, when it all comes together. And that's what I'm trying to do in this one video. That's why it's going to be so long. But that's what the Thrill of the Chase is. The actual title to the gold. Now, the Too Far to Walk, that one, that's like a ski pole. This is starting from Agua Fria Peak, where Angel Fire Ski Resort is, where you dip your toe in a boot and you hear the clomp of a boot. Forrest Fenn said all of these things, folks. That's what Agua Fria Peak is, all the way down to Palisade Sill. That's 31 miles. That's what the Too Far to Walk is. And that significance lines up perfectly in the poem to walk along Route 64, where the Vietnam War Memorial is. And Forrest Fenn talked about being in Vietnam and deciding whether or not to walk out of the jungle or stay and get picked up by the Jolly Green Giant. The Green Giant, which is another superhero. That's what that connection is. It's 31 miles from Agua Fria Peak to Palisades Sill. So that's too far to walk. It's all those connections pull in together. And then finally, the last one, Once Upon a While. He's actually fishing in Pleiades, right? And Forrest Fenn mentioned how many times he wrote the books. All 3 books. I mix up my words. I take out commas. I put words that aren't really there. I add letters, subtract letters. Pleiades is Palisade. If you mix up the word, if you mix up the letters. That's what the genius of this. And he even shows himself fishing in Pleiades at Palisade Sill. And there's a picture in here where it shows a palisade, a bunch of trees, but he's fishing right through it. And the hook is down below, but he's fishing in Palisade Sill. Actually, I should get the picture and show you. But it's, Forrest Fenn was a genius on how he created this. I'm not going to look for it. There's too much other information I need to give you. But those are the connections with the books, folks. And he put the Palisade at the end of the book in the Pleiades story. He said a row of Palo Verde trees, 300 feet from the house. Palisades Hill is 300 feet tall. The connections in these books and how many different things I have between Palisades, postmarks for the Devil's Mailbox, and all the postmarks everybody talked about in the first book. There's 2 critical ones in the second book. And those are critical. With the key, the mailbox, that's the key word. If you can figure out where there is, Palisades Sill, that's where you see Devil's Mailbox. All of these clues that pull together are frigging amazing. And understanding them the way that I do. I know that some people out there are seeing Forrest Fenn's clues and his connections to actually somewhere that's other than what you've been told where the location was. Folks, this is like a David and Goliath fight here. I know I have the actual true solve where the location was, where the treasure chest was, the $1, $2, or $3 million treasure chest, whatever it was, because of the lack of interest and the lies and the no information and no news coverage. They didn't even put it out on the news. They put it down into vlogs to try to keep this squashed down as much as they could so that nobody would nobody would look into it. Well, there are over 500,000 people who looked for Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt that got robbed by Shiloh Old taking that treasure chest from every single one of us. And that's why I'm putting this out there. And that's why with my brain injury, I believe that I had some abilities of how this all worked out to be able to see the clues and pull them out of what Clark Kent and Aunt Esther really are and how they were. So I'm going to put some more videos at the end of this video that I'm doing now so that you can understand some of the clues, and you'll see repeats of a few of them, but I don't leave them on a long time. If you need to look and pause, please do so you can understand it. And I've said this again in another part, because there's so much information here that Forrest Fenn built and created in this genius treasure hunt over 15 years of creating different clues and hints that all pull together. He talks about the St. Louis Cardinals, I believe. Aunt Esther and Fred Sanford were both from St. Louis. All of these clues and connections that come in. But I have so many that I haven't even put in the videos in these books that I'm so proud of, as far as all of this pulling together to show the actual true solve was at Palisades Sill, New Mexico, Cimarron Canyon. And that right there proves, and you know, I wouldn't even have had a problem if they said they found it at Palisades Sill. I could say nothing because I opened my mouth and told some friends to grab the cross. But when they lied about the location and cannot come up with a solve, that's what I got a problem with. That's how you know there's fraud involved. And that's what I'm trying to get across. That fraud that they put out there, Jack Stoof coming forward with the fraud, puts himself at blame for Michael Sexton's death, because the pictures The first picture that Forrest received in June of 2020, that metadata is going to show October of 2019. They've lied about June 2020, and they're saying, I think the real saw was in October of 2019. Folks, that was 3 months after I told Forrest Fenn of the location, and thinking that it was going to stay between Forrest Fenn and I. And that's the issue that I've got. They lied about the location. That tells me there's fraud, and that tells every single searcher and every single American, every single law enforcement, every single person out there that has any interest in a massive treasure hunt that any of us could have found. They are lying about the location, and I have proved that in my videos. And that's why I have an issue. Otherwise, I laid back until I saw all of the lies coming forward, and then them having to have Forrest Fenn announce that it was in Wyoming just to protect the fraud. But there's one person who can break that cycle of lies with the actual true solve, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, folks, it is a beautiful, amazing solve when you see it all together. So if you really want to learn it and take the time to watch the rest of these videos, then please do. You will see some of the incredible things that Forrest Fenn put together and built. But some of my older videos on YouTube, I am under acquired Savant syndrome individual solves Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. It's in there. It's in YouTube, and it's on the same channel this is going to be on. But they are going to try to take this video down like they've done with multiple other ones. The emails that they sent me trying to harass me and throw me off track and discredit me, it didn't work. I know I'm the actual true solver, whether it's the Savant abilities or not. And I believe I have some, the way I see the clues coming out of the books, like the way I see them implanted in there, how Forrest placed them, about superheroes, about comic books. And I'm gonna post it real quick, but some of my comic book guys are sending me different pages of all the clues they're finding about things I have not found yet. There are so many clues in here. There are so many superheroes in some of the stories that I still not have found. There's 3 books. I still have been living my life, but trying to release the truth about Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt that was so badly stolen from all of us. So folks, please, if you're interested in it and you want to help, watch the rest of these videos that I put on here, because there are some really freaking cool things that Forrest Fenn came up with that just got flushed down the toilet from his own family trying to shut this down to protect his own grandson who stole the treasure chest. And I know that I've had my disagreements with the bloggers. And Shy Guy, you're the one that put that title out there. Thank you. You're the one that let me know, hey, I need to look into what the title is. Because there's so many different things that Forrest Fenn incorporated into his stories and infused, and how he did, and the layers videos that I have. It's so brilliant. And I want folks to understand. I want people to know that there was a treasure hunt that has been fraudulently ended by his own family, and Forrest Fenn was forced into protecting his own grandson, Shiloh Old, of the theft. And that's why there were things missing out of the treasure chest. Everybody wonders on all of these different things. If you have a quote that I have not answered in my videos, if you have not seen it, let me know. I will give you an answer to what it was, especially the new Miss Marvel is a little girl from India. Someone said to me, Dave, that was a little girl from India asking a question. And I said, and it's not. Forrest Fenn said even a little girl from India could solve the first 2 clues, but then she'd have to go boots on the ground. And the map portion is Agua Fria Peak, Eagle's Nest, and then your next clue is where you're on the ground. It's Palisades Sill. All of these clues fit absolutely perfect to Palisades Sill, Cimarron Canyon, New Mexico. The more than 8.25. Everything is there. So, again, folks, you're welcome to watch the rest of the video that has a ton more of information about superheroes, about connections with Palisades, about connections with the devil's mailbox. But it's a long video. This is going to be the longest video I've ever done to give the information out all in one package. But again, it's going to get shut down. I can tell you right now, it's going to get shut down on YouTube because they have some kind of thing going where they try to shut my videos down so that you folks on YouTube do not get the full information of what the actual true solve was. And it's all here in this video. And if it's shut down on YouTube and you're able to see this or let other people know to watch it on my Facebook, Dave Woodard, look me up. I'm in Gardner, Mass, and I have my other videos on there. Not all of them. There's a ton on YouTube from way back. The aberrations that live out on the edge. There's folks, just look through the videos. Look at the Bishop's Riddle. Look at the answer is clear. Clear Creek down to, he said it, Clear Creek to the cemetery, the cross, is exactly 2 miles on a map. If you look it up on Google, all of his hints, all of his directions, all of his proof, his evidence, his facts are in the books and in my videos to give you the actual answers of what Forrest Fenn built here over 15 years. So I feel like the underdog, as I said, and you have a rich kid who stole the treasure from every single one of us, especially the guy who solved it. When Forrest Fenn confided in the only person that he thought he could trust, who screwed him right in the back. Folks, it's a horrendous thing that happened. And I'm done trying to reach out to them. And their lawyer backed out because he knows that this is coming to a head. And people are going to know what the real solve was that Forrest Fenn created and how evil you folks look at all of the documentation that's been put into court with these court cases. Barbara Anderson is not going to have a court case anymore. McCracken is not going to have a court case anymore. That's the one I tried to get in on, and they shut me down from getting in on it. And they were so happy. But you know what? I looked into it more and more and more, and I found all of these answers. And that's the actual answer. Forrest Fenn's secret, his actual mirror dimension of all of these superheroes without the public's knowledge. And it's beautiful. I hope you keep watching. And please ignore my mannerisms because of my brain injury. I know that sometimes I'll stutter or sometimes I'll say something odd, or whatever, but it's the way it is. It's the way I am right now. And I have to accept that. My family accepts it, but my family has not dove into this the way that I have. So they think my brain injury is stronger than my actual facts on this solve. And they said, it doesn't matter. It does matter. The treasure chest was stolen and then lied about. That's the difference. If they said it was in Palisades-Hill, I couldn't say a word. And they knew that I told some people they should have just came forward with the truth and said, Jack found it there. But they wouldn't have had a solve. That's the thing. So they had to try to make one up somewhere else with a fake blaze, which is the fake fire pit next to the cross that Forrest used to symbolize the blaze that was up top. If you found the treasure chest location that way. Otherwise, he had a shorter time span with that cross with Kenton-Ester that you could find it with Canasta. There's two different ways to solve it, and those are the two ways. So the actual most important word in the poem, as people have asked, is the word there. You need to place Palisades-Hill in the location of there, and the whole thing lines up beautifully to where Palisades-Hill is. Folks, keep watching, and there's more of me, and I apologize. I'm doing what I can to get this information out because I just found out that my cancer is more aggressive than they thought originally. My numbers are different. So I've been given a kind of an ultimatum to have surgery or radiation, and they want to do it soon. So I want this information out before it's too late and nobody learns what really truly happened in Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. that was so wrongly stolen from all of us. So, folks, thank you. Thank you for watching. And here's some more good stuff. Thanks.
starring James Garner and Jack Kelly. Produced by Warner Brothers.
Who is the tall, dark stranger there? Maverick is the name. Riding the trail to who knows where. Luck is his companion. Gambling is his game. Smooth as a handle on a gun. Maverick is the name. Wild as the wind in Oregon. Blowing up a canyon. Easier to tame. Riverboat, ring your bell. Fare thee well, Annabelle. Luck is a lady that he loves the best. Nazareth to New Orleans, living on Jackson, Queens. Maverick is a legend of the West. Riverboat, ring your bell. Fare thee well, Annabelle. Luck is a lady that he loves the best. Nazareth to New Orleans, living on Jackson, Queens. Maverick is a legend of the West. Maverick is a legend of the West.
Kent and Esther are the gold ending in Forrest Fenns' treasure hunt. The Fenn community on YouTube may not want to accept it, but a lot of the community has been infiltrated by scabs. Proof of Lois and Clark inside the hint of Maverick is a gigantic clue that validated this solve at the cross at Palisades Sill as Forrest Fenns' true final resting place. 100%. I still have so many more facts that pinpoint Palisades Sill and match up Kent and Esther at the cross that it's a shame nobody seems to want this information out, so everyone can learn the amazing solve that Forrest Fenn created and I solved. I'm trying my best to bring Forrest's legacy back, yet I still get pushed down by Shiloh and his scabs. This is the pivotal time where fraud has gone on for well over 2 years, and the chance to uncover it is now. If you are a real person and you are one of the 500,000 people who went searching for the treasure of Forrest Fenn, then don't let this fraudulent ending with no solve or 9 clues be the way it ends. Please speak up that you see the true solve here. Forrest was honorable but got railroaded at the end. Help revive his honor. You can make a difference for the legacy of a great man. Back the true solve and the true solver here. I have everything answered in order, and I have the 9 clues that bring you to a precise spot. The map solved inside the poem dissected and answered to every word, punctuation, and stanza. I am the man back east, Forrest Fenn himself said, who solved this poem and found the precise final resting place by solving the poem. Not Jack Stoof and Shiloh backing him, just to cover up the fraud. The discrediting and hiding of this solve by the Fenn community and Shiloh's scabs is literally horrendous. Anyone that has not read Forrest Fenn's books will not have a total understanding of how Forrest created this treasure hunt solution. But the facts are the facts that lets everyone know this is the solve of the greatest treasure hunt in our lifetime that was solved by the maverick, Dave Woodard. But with the factual solution I've given, there is no denying this is the only true solve. I have offered up every single bit of my life from having any normal semblance of respect and quiet in a world so messed up right now, because I am that positive I'm right. The accusations I've given are the truth to this ending, and I have the actual physical proof to prove it. The problem is, everyone goes to the guy who actually stole the treasure chest for answers, which is the biggest slap in the face to Forrest. So if there's anyone with enough power to challenge the fraud from Shiloh Old for the atrocities he's committed, please really look into the solution of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. You will see so many amazing things that Forrest Fenn himself created in this solve at the Kent and Esther Cross. Finding any superhero characters in the books or any Aunt Esther connections, and there are many. Tomorrow, June 6, 2022, the date of the biggest fraud anniversary of a treasure hunt ending in the history of our lives. Please realize and understand the level of detrimental backlash I will receive for these accusations. I'm not here because that sounds like a day in the park. I know the repercussions of this, yet I've stepped forward to accept this responsibility. This information needs to be known everywhere, so please pass this along to anyone who believes in justice, anyone who can help expose the wrongful ugliness that's occurred. I realize what's been done here at the end because I'm the one and only true solver. I have every single thing answered, and I've guaranteed it by offering my truck and home as gifts to anyone who could prove me wrong. Thanks for watching. Please share and follow to keep posted on the revival of Forrest Fenns Treasure Hunt legacy. I am the man from back east. I am the true solver of Forrest Fenns Treasure Hunt. I will put the real closure on this mysterious ending. Dave.
All right, let's go see if we can get ourselves a confession.
Ooh, this is some Dateline NBC shit.
restless tonight, 'cause I wasted the light. Between both these times, I drew a really thin line. It's nothing I planned, and not that I can, but you should be mine across that line. If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for one thing, if I sorted it out, if I knew all about this one thing, wouldn't that be something? I promise I might not walk on by, maybe next time, but not this time. Even though I know I don't wanna know. Yeah, I guess I know, I just hate how it sounds. If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for one thing, if I sorted it out, if I knew all about this one thing, wouldn't that be something? If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for one thing, if I sorted it out, if I knew all about this one thing, wouldn't that be something? Even though I know I don't wanna know. Yeah, I guess I know, I just hate how it sounds. Even though I know I don't wanna know. Yeah, I guess I know, I just hate how it sounds. If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for one thing, if I sorted it out, if I knew all about this one thing, wouldn't that be? If I traded it all, if I gave it all away for one thing, just for
So basically what I'm trying to get across to give out the information is you have all three books, right? So you have the different layers of the Palisade, of Maverick, of Dancing with the Stars, all of these clues spread out all over the place. And that's what's been so disorganized that I'm trying to pull together for people to understand. Well, I've color-coded them and organized them so they're all beautiful and organized. Now it's presenting it in an organized way to understand and get to that level that Forrest Fenn was at. I believe right now, I'm the only man alive that is actually inside the head of Forrest Fenn and what he created here. And that's what I'm trying to give out for my information. I was putting out clues that I could see. I can see it all together, and I can see it all floating up there and how they're interconnected when you have three clues in one picture on that. It's okay, this is part of the Maverick, but it's also part of the postmarks, and it's also part of Palisade Sill. So it's so intertwined and interconnected what he built here. It's actually, if you're able to see it, and I know there's not going to be a lot of people who are able to see everything and pull it together the way it was in Forrest Fenn's mind, but the creation that he built here and how many clues over 15 years of time he pulled in. He kept pulling in different clues and putting them in different places in his books. And that's what I'm trying to get across on what the actual true solve is. Kent and Esther are the cross. Kent and Esther are Clark Kent and Aunt Esther, the homely girl on the cross. Aunt Esther, ugly. That's what Fred Sanford called her. So all of these clues that he built together in these stories shows how he interpreted using Fred. He never brought up Esther. He brought up people that were like Aunt Esther, with the hat, with bantering back and forth. It was so creative and so genius the way he did this. But I know personally, the family doesn't even understand the level of this solve. Kyle Summer does not understand the level of this solve. Forrest Fenn created with Aunt Esther and Clark Kent. I'm going to do the superheroes next to bring it in and understand. That's why I'm doing the layers video. So you understand most of the stuff that I found with the Palisade. And now you understand the mixed words. The next thing I'm going on to, there's so many different levels too. That's what's so creative here. And so it's so hard to explain. But if you understand the levels, it might be easier for you to pull in and understand, wow, this connects with that. And that connects with that. And this over here and over there. There's so many different interconnected clues that he gives out that I'm trying to show you in an organized fashion. Basically, that's what it is. Organizing the clues so it's more understandable of the actual true solve of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. And Forrest Fenn knew that I was the guy that solved it. Jack came forward as the guy who supposedly found it and was acknowledged by Shiloh. My quest is for people to understand Forrest Fenn's actual solve and the genius of a man that he was to create what he created here. But there are so many superhero things that I'm going to go on to now. I've decided to try to do it all in one video so that it's not jumped around. Like all of the other clues and hints, they're so scattered, it's hard to pull it all together into one unit. And that's what I'm trying to do here, folks. Again, I am Dave Woodard, the man from the East, the guy that has the Dancing with the Stars solve, the Aunt Esther solve, and the Clark Kent solve. Thank you, folks. Keep watching. There's a lot more good information that's coming.
I'm so high, I can hear heaven. I'm so high, I can hear heaven. Oh, but heaven, no heaven, don't hear me. They say that a hero can save Tarzan wasn't her latest man. He'd just come along and scoop him up under his arm like that, quick as a cat in the jungle. Clark Kent, now there was a real gent. He would not be caught sitting around in no jungle escape, dumb as an ape doing nothing. Superman never made any money saving the world from Solomon Grundy. And sometimes I despair the world will never see another man like him. Hey Bob, soon had a straight job, even though he couldn't smash through any bank in the United States. He had the strength, but he would not. Folks said his family were all dead. Planet crumbled, but Superman he forced himself to carry on. Get Krypton and keep going. Superman never made any money saving the world from Solomon Grundy. And sometimes I despair the world will never see another man like him. Tarzan is king of the jungle and lord over all the apes, but he could hardly string together four words. By Tarzan, Eugene. Sometimes when Soup was stopping crimes, I'll bet he was tempted to just quit and turn his back on man. Join Tarzan in the forest. But he stayed in the city, kept on changing clothes and dirty old phone booths till his work was through. Had nothing to do but go home. Superman never made any money saving the world from Solomon Grundy. And sometimes I despair the world will never see another man like him. And sometimes I despair the world will never see another man like him.
Soulja Boy, hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soulja Boy. You just gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soulja Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soulja Boy? That Superman, that now why me you crank that song? 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 Now what? Soulja Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soulja Boy? That Superman, that now why me you crank that song? 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 Now what? Soulja Boy, I'm in it. Why me lean that? Why me roll? Superman, that Yeah, why me crank that Robocop? Super friend, now why me jocking on them, hate them, man. When I do that soldier boy, I lean to the left and crank that thing now. I'm jocking on you, And if we get the fight, then you catch me at your local party, yes, I crank it every day. Haters get mad, cause I got me some baby night. Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what? I'm bouncing on my toe. Why me super soak that? I'ma pass to A-Rab and he gon' crank it up for sure. Haters wanna beat me, soldier boy, I'm the man. They be looking at my neck, saying it's durable. Bang, man. Why me do it? Damn, let it to it. No, you can't do it like me, though. So don't do it like me, folk. I seen you try to do it like me. Man, that damn was ugly. Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what? I'm too fresh, I finna why me crank it, why me why me crank that Roosevelt and super soak that? Super soak that. Super soak that. Super soak that. Super soak that. I'm too fresh, now why me do? Why me shuffle? Why me do? Why me crank that soldier boy, not Superman? Superman. Superman. Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what? Soldier boy, I finna why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that soldier boy, that Superman, that now why me crank that soldier? 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 Now what?
I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. I'm just out to find the better part of me. I'm more than a bird, I'm more than a plane, I'm more than some pretty face beside a train. And it's not easy to be me. I wish that I could cry, fall upon my knees, find a way to lie about a home I'll never see. It may sound absurd, but don't be naive. Even heroes have the right to bleed. I may be disturbed, but won't you concede? Even heroes have the right to dream, and it's not easy to be me. I'm not that naive. Men were It's not easy. It's not easy to be me. Take a look at the witch, see the twitch in her eye. Tell me, what does she feel? Is this the way of the world? To think of moving a girl until the night is real? And I see the edge, I look out for, and I get deeper and deeper. The more I see, the more I fall. No place to hide, I better take the call. I get deeper and deeper. Was it the smell of the oil or the sweat of the tall, the man living and real? Was it the man in the suit or the boy with the flute? And tell me, when did he steal? Is it beginning to break? Can you see the mistake? Tell me, know where to go. Was it a fool's blood in a rocky road? And what price did he pay? Can I see the edge I look out for? I get deeper and deeper. The more I see, the more I fall. No place to hide, I better take the call. I get deeper and deeper. Jack and see just one more time for me. You better wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute, wait a minute. We hit the road's man. Don't pass me by, you see the tears in my eyes. You better wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Got your letter from the postman just the other day. So I decided to write you this song. Just to let you know exactly the way I feel. To let you know my love's for real. Because I love you. And I'll do anything. I'll give you my heart, my everything. Because I love you. I'll be right by your side. To be a light, to be your guide. If you should feel that I don't really care, and that you're starting to lose ground, just let me reassure you that you can count on me, and that I'll always be around. Because I love you, my heart's an open door. Girl, won't you please come on in? Because I love you, I'll be right by your side. To be a light, to be your guide. If you should feel that I don't really care, and that you're starting to lose ground, just let me reassure you that you can count on me, that I will always be around. Because I love you, my heart's an open door. Girl, won't you please come on in? Because I love you, I'll be right by your side. To be a light, to be your guide.
From Television City in Hollywood. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew when you were there.
Dance for girls and men, women. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody was a friend to me when I needed one. Wasn't for her, I don't know what I'd done. She gave me back something that was missing in me. She could have turned out to be almost anyone. Almost anyone. With the possible exception of who I wanted her to be.
Again, I have to say, this is 15 years of work, of creativity, bringing in different superheroes, bringing in different ways to incorporate Red Fox or Aunt Esther or the Palisade. All of the different things. You have the cross with Kent and Esther. Those are the magic things right there. Clark Kent and Aunt Esther, the homely girl and the Superman, the superheroes. That's why there's so many in the books that I found. It's not like I'm pulling this out and making it up. These are things Forrest Fenn incorporated into his books. When you were able to find that cross at Palisade Sill. That's why there's so many Palisades in it. If you understood the word there in the poem means Palisade, you are on your way to understanding Forrest Fenn speak. And and knowing that he's talking about Palisade Sill. That's why there's so many Palisades in the books. And the intrusion and intrusive, those right there are more Palisades that I actually didn't even put in. So there's probably up to 20 Palisades clues that are inside of the 3 books. So just to get that out of the way, you have the cross, you have your superheroes that come in from one layer, you have your Aunt Esther that comes in from another layer, you have your Palisade that comes in from another layer. All of these different layers, and this, again, the postmarks are coming in from different angles. So what Forrest Fenn built and created here, owned by me now that Forrest Fenn is gone and nobody else wants to admit what the actual solve is, I wanted people to understand that this creative thing that Forrest Fenn did here was solved by one person and one person alone. And that person let Forrest know, for some reason the treasure chest is gone. Some other guy has the actual physical and factual true solve of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. And that's me, folks. And tell you, I have so much more to put in here with so many cool creative things that I haven't even started. But they're in my videos. A lot of them are way back in my videos. So if you watch those videos, you will start to see some of the other connections. Like all the aberrations, I wish I could put them in here, but watch my aberrations video. What an actual aberration is. It's like multiple lines coming into one for a visual, which is like the cross, the 2 names coming into one. And that's an aberration. Slit live out on the edge. Edge is Egerton. His stories about Aunt Esther. And Fred Sanford saying you're half woman, half parrot. Polly Esther.
That was Polly Esther, sucker. Yeah, Polly Esther, that's you. Half woman, half parrot.
Just like Forrest Fenn did. He stole that idea, and he stole it from Fred Sanford using Ken Esther. Canesta. People can say they don't understand it or whatever now, but now that I did the 3 layers, you have the Forrest speak, you have the explanation of the map and how this all fits in together and where I was going with this video. You won't see the 56 superheroes that I just put out for everybody, and so many more. When I go through, I find more and more. And the people that love comic books, I implore you, please look into these books and try to find some of the other superheroes that I have not found. I don't have everything. It was 15 years. If I had to guess, maybe 10 years of things I found that Forrest Fenn incorporated into these stories and how they interconnect. And that's the beauty of it. When you finally see it interconnecting with the postmarks and the Devil's Mailbox, and we took in Donnie Joe because his grandmother was a postmaster. I can imagine why that mattered. The imagination is more important than knowledge. And the knowledge is to know edge. It's just so incredibly brilliant. And it's an experience when you start seeing all of these clues that line up to something. And what I did was I give you where it comes out of the book. A lot of times I try to give you the page number, but there are times where I just have so much information to try to put out in this one video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand now how it all plays in together at Palisade Sill. When Forrest gives his clues in the book, they're for a precise spot. Just like I showed you with the Mountain Men. He had the Mountain Men in every story to connect with the old man face right after Palisade Sill. That old man face on the mountain. That's one of the clues, and that's one of all the hints that pull in to let you know it's one of the specific points in the map portion. So that's what these layers are. They're just different validation points coming into the Kent and Esther cross that is at Palisade Sill, Cimarron Canyon. If you look up the 3rd book, the spices that Forrest Fenn brings up, he brings up 16 different spices, but doesn't bring up cinnamon for Cimarron. It's those type of things that Forrest did. He either leaves it out specifically or he incorporates it in somehow and has a double meaning. So it's so cool. But it is. The whole thing that you've been given so far has been a fraud. A lot of the channels that have been saying that they know it's a fraud, now you understand why. Now you understand my Forrest Fenn innocent video, as I tried to give you the timeline of what really happened. Now, a lot of the folks that finally want to get involved with making this right, that's what I've asked for right along. I've asked the family to do the right thing, and they just won't do it because they're hiding something. Now, my opinion is they're going to come out with Forrest Fenn told them to go get the treasure. Well, how come you didn't let the guy know who already knew where the treasure was and told Forrest, and then all of a sudden it was here? This is the things that are going to need to be answered. And if they want to deal with me on a communicative level, then do it. But do it soon, because this video, it's going to Josh Gates. It's going to any other place that I can find real people. And everything I've said so far has been correct. So I haven't changed my solve. I've only added to it and proven more and more with validated facts and physical locations and things that people want to see, things that people can associate with to understand this actual solve and how beautiful it is. So that's what I wanted to put across right now before I go into the rest of throwing in a bunch of different pictures before I end it so I can have this video done. So folks, again, thank you. I'm Dave Woodard, the man from back east that Forrest Fenn said solved it precisely under a canopy of stars, which is all of the stars he had in there. And the two main characters, Kent and Esther, folks. It's that easy. So the actual true solve, Dancing with the Stars. And I'll show you why right here. Thank you. Have a great night, folks.
As we fall down to the station, no, we never would wave goodbye. You could see it written in his eyes as the train rolled out of sight. Bye,
Hi, folks. I have to break in here just for a minute to kind of explain this. We're in the story of J.D. Solinger, okay, who was a canasta fiend. So that connection, a really bad hand in canasta, is called As Dead as Canasta. So understanding that J.D. Solinger connection. Now, the Caliph, this is where it's tricky. Forrest Fenn is giving you these clues about his successor. Whoever has figured out his poem to his successor by Caliph, you go down to where it says Einstein, imagination is more important than knowledge. So understanding, if you can figure out the canasta is actually canester on the cross, if you've figured out the map that led you to the Kent and Esther cross, this is the section that lets you know that Kent and Esther equal out to be canasta, canester. This is imagination is more important than knowledge. That's how he did this. That's why he put that in there. So when you understand in some of the other clues in the books, when he talks about being on the plane and getting all loopy, and he talks about when the cross came back into my life again years later, I melded the thoughts together. He's telling us a story of how he actually put together Kent and Esther inside of these stories, and I'm hoping that you're able to see that. But this story right here, these connections of how he did, that's why I put that in there, because it's still important it's about J.D. Solinger. It's about all the stars that he danced with, but it also incorporates how he created the Kent and Esther cross to join them together to make canasta. It's beautiful, folks. This is the solve. I'm telling you right now. And I just wanted everybody to understand that portion of it, okay, to simplify it a little bit better. Thank you.
slipping into the future. I've been sitting here trying to find myself. I get behind myself. I need to rewind myself. Looking for the payback. Listen for the playback. They say that every man bleeds just like me. And I feel like number one, yet I'm last in line. I watch my youngest son, and it helps to pass the time. I take too many pills, it helps to ease the pain. I made a couple dollar bills, but still I feel the same. Everybody knows my name. They say it way out loud. A lot of folks fuck with me. It's hard to hang out in crowds. I guess that's the price you pay to be someday shine like I am. I've heard stands and one night stands. Still I can't find love. When your walls all tumbling down, I will always be I've been home. what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. They said it was bound to happen, it's just a matter of time. Now I've come to my decision, and it's one of the painful kind. 'Cause now it seems that you wanted a martyr, just a regular guy wouldn't do. But baby, I can't hang upon the lover's cross for you. You really gotta hand it to you, 'cause girl, you really tried. But for every time that we spent laughing, there were 2 times that I cried. And you were trying to make me a martyr, and that's the one thing I just couldn't do. 'Cause baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. These tables are meant for turning, and people are bound to change, and bridges are meant for burning when the people and memories they join on the same. Still I hope that you can find another who can take what I could not. Have to be a super guy, or maybe a super god. 'Cause I never was much of a martyr before, and I ain't about to start nothing new. Baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you. These tables are meant for turning, and people are bound to change, and bridges are meant for burning when the people and memories they join on the same. But I hope that you can find another who can take what I could not. You'd have to be a super guy, or maybe a super god. 'Cause I never was much of a martyr before, and I ain't about to start nothing new. Baby, I can't hang upon no lover's cross for you.
I wonder if you're lonesome tonight. You know, someone said that the world's a stage and each must play a part. Fate had me playing in love with you as my sweetheart. Act 1 was where we met. I loved you at first glance. You read your lines so cleverly and never missed a cue. Then came Act 2. You seemed to change, you acted strange, and why I'll never know. Honey, you lied when you said you loved me, and I had no cause to doubt you. But I'd rather go on hearing your lies than to go on living without you. Now the stage is bare, and I'm standing there with emptiness all around. And if you won't come back to me, then they can bring the curtain down.
what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze.
There's a reason Forrest Fenn gave us so many heroes and superheroes in comics. Superman is the biggest. In his stories, there is another important reason, which I'll give you at the end of this very short video.
I'm sexy and I know it. I'm sexy and I know it.
But I've been forgotten, I do. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? But I've been
Been the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for.
Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
So follow me. Hey, come on, baby. Follow me. I'm the Pied Piper. Follow me. I'm the Pied Piper. And I'll show you where it's at.
Golden age of powerful gods and extraordinary heroes. And the greatest and strongest of all these heroes was the mighty Hercules.
Everybody look alive, say come on, come on, come on. We're gonna get it now. Hands up if you're ready for the fight. Say come on, come on, come on. We're gonna win it now. I don't need you to believe in me. I know how to change my destiny. Sit down, about to rewrite a history. Rewrite a history, rewrite a history. We can change the whole world, gonna take it over. Gonna start it over. Don't you know what we could be? A new beginning, fighting till we're winning. Tell me that you're in it. Don't you wanna be a superhero? A superhero, a superhero. Don't you wanna be a superhero? A superhero, a superhero. Anybody could be, anybody could be, anybody could be. Rip it off, show the symbol on your chest. Say come on and show the world who you really are. It's not enough to be better than the rest. Gotta take it to the top and make yourself a superstar. You don't need them to believe in you. Get your mission unlocked and see it through. You've got all the power you need in you. Power you need in you. Power you need in you. We can change the whole world. Gotta take it
Had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's a truth, and I hope it only you. Had the time of my life. No, I never felt this way before.
I need to show you something cool. Oh, tell me, wise sir, where are the treasures? And the wise man replied, wherever you find them. As I have gone alone in there is Palisade Sill. A palisade is a fortress. Hi folks, Dave Woodard, the man from back east. If you've been following along with my videos, you understand that there's all these superheroes that are spread throughout Forrest Fenns stories, right? Well, I was just discussing this with my sister last night, who I said to her directly, I said, you're not part of my tribe. I'm sorry, you understand everything, but my tribe is people who have already started finding clues for themselves in this actual whole thing that Forrest Fenn created. Like my other video, I put a few of them up. And so I mentioned to her a new clue that I just found about Mummy Joe, which is might be in this video. I don't know which one I'm doing, in the middle of doing two different videos. I haven't decided which one it's going on, but Mummy Joe, G.I. Joe, the Mummy's Tomb. There's all these. Forrest Fenn, you know, I told my sister, I said, Forrest Fenn named the treasure chest Indulgence. And then she looked at me like, indulgence? And we started thinking about it, and she said, you know what indulgence really means, right? It's like when you indulge yourself into something. Everybody knows it. It's an easy... There's overindulging, but he called the treasure chest... He's not going to call the treasure chest overindulgence. He's going to call it indulgence so that people know that there's a lot included in it. So I looked up indulgence in superheroes because she said that. And this is what I found, folks. Pretty cool, right? Taking superheroes and mashing them together is what this Indulgence comic book does. So that's pretty cool, right? Forrest Fenn, this all leads back to pretty much all comic book, superhero, movie themes, things like that with Aunt Esther. There's a whole different level with Aunt Esther and Red Fox and all the other innuendos with Baba. He called me Baba for Baba Bexley, for the Elizabeth, the big ones coming. There's so many that Forrest Fenn put in here. So what I wanted to do was just let everybody know this is over. And the way we know it's over is because when you realize what Forrest Fenn built here, right, folks? He built this out of all different superheroes. So I can tell you right now, there was a little olive jar that was left inside the treasure chest, correct? Nobody knows what's inside of that little olive jar. I can tell you what's inside that olive jar because he said you won't know the first clue until you find the treasure chest. When you find Kent and Esther on the cross, you still don't know who they are. But when you open up that olive jar, it's going to explain all of these clues that I put out. Because I'm the guy from the East that Forrest Fenn said solved it. So all of these superheroes, all of Aunt Esther, Red Fox, all of those clues that he put inside here, he indulged into the treasure chest with all of these clues. That's what he's talking about. So that little olive jar had all of the clues that tell you who Kent and Esther are. And I'm sure there's many. He micro wrote that so that he could fit everything in. Because there's so many superhero connections here that I still haven't even found. And others are finding them. Like my sister just found Indulgence. That's incredible. The comic Indulgence, where they mash superheroes and comic strip figures or characters together. And that's the basis of his whole story also, is characters, which is why he said an asterisk. That's a star. These are all different characters that he brought in. It's beautiful, folks. When you finally start seeing it, it is amazing. Hi folks, this is Indulgence. On scene, we have the interview with Jack Stoof in progress and his comments about the actual fraud committed in Wyoming and the perjury in court with false documents. We're hoping to have a live interview with the true solver, Dave Woodard, by the end of this interview. Jack, aren't you upset about the fraud that transpired and you agreed to be in the middle of this whole conspiracy? Most people would be upset at their own actions and say they are truly sorry. What say you, Jack?
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. It's too late.
Jack, there's been a rumor Cynthia used one of her solves at 9 Mile Hole. Did she help all of you with this conspiracy? Because you've changed your date of the find from June 6, 2020 to October 2019.
I actually did it myself. Yeah. I actually did it myself. Yeah.
Jack, is there any way to explain the actual solve that Shiloh gave you for the made-up spot in Wyoming? Something we can all understand. Well, I'm not sure I understand that's all, Jack. How about something a little bit more simple, like giving out the 9 clues that took you to the precise spot? Well, I'm not sure I understood that either, Jack. You must be amazed at the Superman and Aunt Esther solve and admire Dave's tenacity because he was screwed over so hard.
You underestimate my power!
I can't imagine the embarrassment you feel believing Shiloh would protect you from this horrible, heinous act. Do you still have contact with him after you ran to Puerto Rico to hide from this bad exposure?
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Jack, now that you know the intense level of this Dancing with the Stars solve, and you being a very smart guy, what's your take on this brilliancy Forrest Fenn created with all these stars and the 2 main stars?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Jack, we have Shiloh on our other camera with a makeshift confession. Oh my God.
But I'm a trick.
Shiloh, I know we don't have you for very long. Please, one question. How do you feel about those thousands of searchers you sent down so many rabbit holes?
Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Jack, we lost the feed with Shiloh, but we have Dave Woodard, the true solver, on our other camera. Dave, you must be excited about everyone learning Forrest's legacy.
I'm the king of the world!
Oh my God, Jack. Now that you've been exposed by the true solver, coming out into the public eye, you must be relieved to let it all out.
Pressure, pushing down on me, pressing down on you, no man has fallen. Under pressure, the burns of building down, splits the family in 2, puts people on streets.
Okay, Jack, we're running out of time for this interview. Please just take a moment and explain the reasons you were caught up in this gigantic web of fraud in Wyoming, when the treasure chest was clearly in Cimarron Canyon, New Mexico at Palisade Sill at the Kent and Esther Cross.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
Any closing statements from you, Dave, the man from back east?
Hasta la vista, baby.